Hello, dear friends. Babylon the Great has fallen and has become a dwelling place of demons and a haunt of every unclean spirit. Revelation 18:2. Opinion piece. Fall of Babylon. Heavenly hosts. Golden timeline. Scarecrow event. Liberation from evil. The Great Awakening. Weariness of the people. Stop imagining catastrophes. Let's start. According to Paul White Gold Eagle, there are 4 phases expected for the collapse of Babylon. We are now in the first phase, called the Scarecrow event, which includes nuclear threats, bank failures, and rumors of war. This phase is described as a near-death event for civilization and serves to awaken those who are still fast asleep. It should feel like the end, so that people choose a new beginning. The Scarecrow represents empty appearances devoid of vital essence, illusory protection, and the fatality of pretending to be more than it is. It evokes solitary vigilance and premonition, being alert against the birds of negative thoughts and destructive influences, but also isolation and the need for inner authenticity. The collapse of Babylon represents the fall of a human system of power based on pride, idolatry, materialism, and rebellion against the divine. It can be interpreted as the fall of a paradigm based on manipulation, and its collapse heralds the possibility of a more just and transparent order. When human beings try to reach the top solely through the mind, power, or magic, they end up in dispersion and inner and collective chaos. Living Babylon means detaching from the internal patterns of ego, ambition, and dependence on the system. The second phase would be silence, followed by the pause of the blackout. A moment will come when the noise will cease and the channels of communication will be interrupted. It will be the moment of truth, when emergency messages reveal what has been hidden. The third phase would be the revelation and collapse of corporate giants such as industry, media, and central banks. They would fall like dominoes, and it wouldn't be a slow process, but a sudden structural collapse. The fourth phase would be the debt jubilee, also known as the Golden Age, which would involve debt forgiveness, the release of technologies, and the healing of humanity. According to the author of this theory, the dark forces have already reached the final reckoning and the coffers are empty. What we see now are the last spasms of a monster that has already been beheaded. The curtain is about to fall on the theater. Stay strong, because rebirth will begin after the dawn, just like the rainbow after the storm. Keep your inner light alive. Mr. Poole is more specific when he says that 7 dominoes must fall before the event is triggered: Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, Ukraine, North Korea, and perhaps Europe. The 7th domino is not a country but a Fed. When the 7th domino falls, the system will be activated on all screens. The countdown began on February 23rd and will end when the 7th cycle is turned off. In his view, what is happening right now is the dismantling of every dark side asset in the Persian Gulf. Celestial hosts. The celestial hosts are here in human form in 3 waves of ascendants, according to Ismael Perez. At the end of times, many ancient traditions speak of a powerful event, the incarnation of the celestial hosts. These are not ordinary beings, but luminous warriors, guardians and messengers of the divine, who descend to the physical world to assist humanity in its greatest transformation. According to prophetic traditions, the final era of human history is marked by the arrival of these celestial souls who incarnate as human beings, individuals who awaken extraordinary abilities, a purpose and a mission to help establish the divine realm on earth. These incarnated beings are often described as warriors of light, guardians of humanity, starseeds, and chosen souls who are awakening and beginning to manifest a higher consciousness and extraordinary abilities. As old systems crumble and humanity transitions into a new era, these awakened individuals emerge as modern-day superheroes, not through capes or costumes, but through heightened awareness, courage, compassion, and spiritual power. Many believe these incarnations represent the fulfillment of ancient prophecies found across cultures, where divine messengers, angelic hosts, and celestial armies descend to help humanity during the final transformation of the world. The question is no longer whether humanity will change, but who will rise up to help usher in the kingdom. The Age of Awakening has begun. The Great Awakening is an inner wake. When you are awake, you can see clearly. When you are awake, you stay out of the collective thinking and have freedom of thought. When no dogmatic information becomes free and transparent, it becomes a threat to those who try to control the narrative. You are not alone, nor are you in the minority. Hard truths will come to light. Apocalypse. Stop imagining catastrophes, says Zachary Fisher. For some reason, people seem obsessed with the idea that everything is about to collapse. Every conversation becomes a disaster, every prediction a catastrophe, and every headline fits the same narrative, that the end is always just around the corner. It's easy to do when everyone seems to be pushing that narrative, but at some point you realize something important. The future we constantly imagine is the future we slowly begin to create. If millions of people expect collapse, chaos, and destruction, then that's the energy they are injecting into the world. Heaven on earth isn't a mystical place waiting for us after we die. It's something humanity can build right here, if enough people start believing it's possible. The real question isn't whether heaven on earth can exist. The real question is whether enough people are ready to start imagining it. Fatigue. According to Cobra, some light missioners are feeling burnt out and losing confidence due to conflict and turmoil within the community, personal financial difficulties, and slow progress. They need to start working on their golden timeline. If a light bearer feels strained due to personal interference and chooses to act quietly and independently with less social interaction, this could help them focus their energy and fulfill their mission more effectively. Begin connecting with your golden timeline and your situation will begin to improve. People need to verify all external information with inner guidance instead of relying excessively on a leader. Upon further evolutionary advancement, a human soul could ascend to the level of planetary consciousness and ultimately become a planetary level conscious being. Today, many people feel disillusioned with the old world or remain on the surface, both in understanding and action, without deep reflection. As a result, they don't know what they can do or how to improve their lives, and some even abandon learning because they feel limited by superficial knowledge. Beginning to learn could be a first step. Symbols. The phoenix is a mythical symbol present in both Eastern and Western traditions, representing rebirth, transformation, and the power of renewal through fire. as a sign of hope and openness to a new era. Positive green dragons in the Islamic world are guardians of the Emerald Light because their lineage originated in the Emerald Temple of Atlantis. Many sacred sites considered important anchors points for the goddess energy, such as ruins and temples, which have suffered varying degrees of damage throughout history, will be restored. After the event, the mysterious schools of ascension will be like the ashrams of India. According to Cobra, the demons sealed beneath the Vatican have already been cleansed. Varanasi in India is a very powerful spiritual vortex and a place of liberation from the cycle of life and death. Many mysterious rituals are performed there, and people from all over the world hope to spend the final stage of their lives there. Middle East. Iran will continue closing the Strait of Hormuz. Iran claims responsibility for missile strikes on US bases in the Persian Gulf. New Iranian attacks hit Dubai, Bahrain, Kuwait and Oman. Iran touches major platforms like Amazon, Google and Microsoft. Iran attacks an Italian base and Iraq's international airport. Iran claims Iraqi resistance shot down a US tanker. Israel announces a new wave of attacks in Beirut. Economy. Brent crude rises 9.22% to $100 after threats from the new Iranian leader. A fifth of the world's crude oil is at risk due to mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Gulf countries cut their oil production due to the Hormuz blockade. The war is costing Middle East tourism $600 million a day. The super-rich use private jets to escape the conflict in the Middle East. Europe. The EU coordinates the repatriation of 8,000 European citizens from the Middle East. The EU asks Ukraine to allow inspection of the damaged oil pipeline. Spain. Spain will approve tax measures to contain energy prices. The king met with the new president of Bolivia to support a new phase for the country. Maria Corina Machado criticizes Sanchez for not standing with the Venezuelan people. Americas. Venezuela signs an agreement with Repsol to guarantee gas supplies to Spain. More than 600 Mexicans have been evacuated from the Middle East due to the conflict. Mexico and Colombia propose that American countries issue a call for peace. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.